I do want to ask you about your former teammate, Jonathan Toews, making a comeback after years away. What do you expect?
Oh, man.
Like, how tough would that be to just restart the engines after 2 years?
Yeah. You know what? If anyone could do it, it's him, number one. The guy's so dedicated to his craft and just becoming better. Like, he definitely seems like one of those guys of when he sets his mind to something, like he's going to do it. So, still keep in contact with Taser over the last year or two, especially since he stepped away. I kind of, just as a friend, just checking in of like, how you doing, whatever. And so he'd give me updates. He's in India, then he's this place. And it was actually quite funny because I had seen he was in Costa Rica, and I was going down to Costa Rica, just missed him by, I don't know, a few weeks or a month or something. So I texted him like, hey, look where I am in Costa Rica. And then a couple months later, when it came out about like, it like broke on TSN or something. He's coming back. He's training. He's doing this. He's doing that. So I just texted him and said like, man, good to see you. You're coming back or whatever. And texted me, and he was at the beach in Costa Rica surfing. and so it's kind of a funny thing, right? Of like, everyone's like, oh, he's currently working out, he's training right now, and he's like, yeah, look where I am.
Yep, I'm surfing.
Currently surfing.
Man, totally. I wish him nothing but the best. Honestly, Taser is the best. He looked out for me like so much when I was here, and can't thank him enough for like the lessons that he taught me and just being around him and learning from him every day. Like, honestly, one of the better human beings I've met for sure.
It's kind of where I was hoping you would go, because there's so much lore around Jonathan Toews, and as we look back at the dynasty in hindsight, and it's like, well, Brent Seabrook was really like the vocal leader, and Toews was the lead by example guy. Like, what was it like sharing a locker room with, at least 3 Hall of Famers and 4 Hossa, Keith, Toews, and Kane.
Wouldn't have been on that team.
Kunitz, like, you arguably add Kunitz into that as far as like Olympics, all that stuff. Crawford, right? Like, there were so many guys, and it was kind of, I guess, like surreal in a sense of you grow up watching these guys, and then you're all of a sudden a part of it, and they're kind of looking to you for of like, hey, we know that we can't do it all, and we're going to need you, which is a really interesting feeling. But it's really, really cool where, like, I had played in Arizona in the past, and obviously got traded from Arizona there, and Arizona felt like it was a lot more individual of like, you didn't really, I don't know, older guys kind of hung out with older guys, younger guys with younger guys, European guys together. When I came here, it was like, no, like when we go out to eat, Toews gets, hey, I got a table for 15 or 20 or whoever wants to come can come if we're out on the road in LA or St. Louis or wherever we are, right? And that creates like that, that tightness. And I was always in like, I just got traded there. I don't know any of these guys or whatever, but right away it was like, no, you're coming out to dinner. And so it was so great by like, and you could just tell all of them like understood that. And it was said to me by Toews, and I forget. I think we were stepping off the plane, and I had mentioned this in one of my YouTube videos too. We had this chat where, we're literally get back from road trip, and we're like everyone's jumping in their cars, driving home, and he's like, "Hey, what's wrong? Like, I know there's something kind of bothering you right now," and I kind of just spilled it. And we're on the runway basically, right? And me and him just talking. Only 2 guys left around, and said like, "Man, I don't know what my role is here. I don't know what to do. I'm not getting any feedback from coaches. I just kind of keep doing what you're doing." And I'm like, honestly, I have no idea. I'm kind of floating in the wind. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I do that. They get mad if I do this, but they tell me to go play my game, and then when I play my game, they're mad about it. I'm like, I have no direction. And so he gave me a full direction of like, look, I don't know what those guys like direction wise, but this is what I need from you as the captain, as the leader, like, and really of like, hey, at some point, trust me, I can't do it every game. Kaner can't do it every game. He went like down the list. He's like, we're going to need you. Like, we don't know when that's going to happen, but we're going to need you. And when he said that, it was like, man, I'll do anything for this guy, you know? And I ended up going on a run. I scored, I think I had like 9 goals in 6 or 7 games and won like NHL Player of the Week close to in March time. Yeah. And that was my time where it was like, we need you for this playoff push. And boom, boom, boom. Like, so it's very, very interesting, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
it's stories like that I think, people sometimes believe happen, like you're saying, like the lore of Toews, and it's just like yeah, like that's kind of what goes into, that leadership role, and what goes into like keeping a team together. And it can be difficult when you're in different situations. And it kind of felt like at the time, through the heyday of the Hawks, like they had like so many guys that you could say like, oh, they would have been captains on any other team, but it still like always felt like, even with all those guys around, like it still started with Jonathan Toews at the top. And like, yeah, it's
Can I say
it's
just
always
quickly
interesting
too,
to hear
for
that
people out there
perspective.
like who are watching or listening, that's the old like notion, right? Of like, this guy can be a captain, that guy can be a captain. Like, there's like being a captain, and then there's actually being one, and they're two very different things. I've played for guys where it's like technically the best player is the captain or whatever, or a guy who's been tenured there for the longest, but he's not the leader. And it's a very different thing. Like guys who are like, like a Toews or Shane Doan was unbelievable at it. Doner was so great. Like I loop a lot of those guys into that same category, have the aura around them. I got to see a little bit of that with Sid, where with Team Canada this year, it was like you had all these sort of like superstars, if you will. And when Sid came walking in, it was just like, you could tell everyone was like, looking like, oh, what's Sid doing? Like, what is it, like, how's he tie his skates? It's just totally different. And you can stick a C on someone's chest, but it doesn't mean that they're the leader, which is Toews and those kind of guys really had that.
I mean, that's as great a story about Jonathan Toews as I've ever heard, because there's a lot of stuff like on the ice and he had this great moment, but to take a guy who's new on the team, not part of the core that's been there all along, and been like, dude, what's up? Like, I'm noticing something's up with you. That's the sort of thing that like that is so meaningful. And
like, even, can I just say, here's another quick one for you. And I might have even told this last year. Even I scored my first NHL hat trick against the Coyotes, like just got traded, and then we played them a couple months later and scored against them first time playing against them. For the last goal, like I probably could have had 5 that game if you watch the highlights. I shot one, it sat on the goal line somehow.
I remember that, yeah.
Honestly, I was flying that game. But it was kind of like, and I could feel it. My momentum was like slipping through the third, where I'm like, I started squeezing it a bit tight to get the hat trick. I really wanted it. And it was about 5 minutes left. I went out. Then I came back, then there's 3 minutes left, went out again, and I came back, and I'm like, that's probably it. I probably won't get another one. And I heard Taser on the bench, like, he turned around to Colleton and looked at him, and he was like, hey, get 11 back on the ice. I think he called, like, Taser's line or something like that, and he's like, no, get him on the ice. And Taser gave me the look, and I went back out, and then sure enough ended up scoring it. And it's like, that's the type of guy
that's awesome.
he is, you know what I mean? That's a proper, like he knew that meant a lot for me. Those guys don't need any, they've done all their stuff.
Right,
and, but he created, I guess, a moment in life that I'll never forget.